Where all my Billy Clan members at? Watching 40 Days of Fashion, tuning in from day to day, wondering what Billy doing next. Fashion, money, snakes, and specs. Go get your love over, y'all. Back is day 32, day 32, day 32. Y'all, we are like a week away from the end of 40 Days of Fashion. Like, can y'all believe that? It's been 30 days already and we've been going strong. That's what it's all about, though. Like, we're learning, we're growing. Speaking of growing, our Billy Clan has reached 48 members. Like, what do you mean? I'm so happy for everyone who has subscribed. I appreciate everyone for subscribing. I don't even know what to say. Like, do I give a speech? Like, what's going on? Okay. But for real, like, in today's lesson, which is also the last lesson of our 40 Days of Fashion series, our lesson will be about mood boards and their importance. So, first of all, what is a mood board? A mood board is a visual that allows us to see how we want things to look. It just allows us to gather all of our ideas and put them into one place. So these ideas include colorways, fabric swatches, taglines, an enticing title, non-apparel visuals or non-apparel items, and inspiration. And we talked about mood boards earlier. And this mood board is, like I said, this theme was professional princesses. And I wanted to include the whole concept of princesses. I wanted that to be a very pronounced theme for my mood board. I wanted to get all my ideas. And typically, when you're making a mood board, you start off by getting all your ideas out flat on the paper, like I said. Either you write all your ideas down or you just put different materials and elements together and just see how things is going to pair up and where they're going to go once you've made your decision. So the first thing I like to do is come up with my theme, because our theme will help me come up with my colorway. So I will come up with a theme, which is just the overall arching story of what you want your mood board to be about or what your collection is about. If you're doing like a marine environment collection, okay, so you will probably associate the theme and the title, something around that, okay? And after that, I will use my colors. Now, the typical colorway are like the blues, the greens, those cooler colors. But you can also incorporate other tones if they will complement your colorway in your board. Because you also got to think about the fabrics as well. How would the fabrics look in these colors? How would they look as a completed garment? So those are some things you need to consider. Another thing, like I said, I like to include are my fabric swatches. Fabric swatches are fabrics that I plan on using in my final collection, and I would just put like some squares of them, like 3x3, 2x2, whatever the case may be, depending on how I want my mood board to be sized. So, or if I'm doing it physically or digitally, because of course they're going to be two different things if I do it digitally. But I would choose the size that I want, either 2x2 or 3x3, and I will place those a certain way on my boards. Now, I've done physical and digital boards, and my experience with doing digital boards was that I was able to find the fabric that I wanted to use, or just a representation of a fabric that I wanted to use before I even get to the store or before I even finalize my idea in my head about what fabric I want to use. And that has kind of worked, but it was kind of also unrealistic because 9 times out of 10, I probably wasn't even using those fabrics that I used. They were just part of the colorway. But for physical boards, I was actually able to get my hands on the fabrics that I was going to use to get a little small portion of it. And I would cut that accordingly. I did change one of the fabric swatch colors in the actual final garment just because of there was a fabric that it was supposed to be a blush pink for the shirt. It was supposed to be a blush pink. But I also wanted to make it as easy as possible for me when it came to constructing my garment. So when I went to the actual fabric store, there was not a definite right and wrong side. And I know that will probably interfere with my construction. But then at the same time, the thing is with the fabrics that don't have definite wrong or right size, it could be either or. But I don't want it to confuse me. So once I've created the story with my theme, my title, my colorways, I like to in my fabric swatches, I like to incorporate the tagline. What do I want the whole story to say? Well, it has to be something meaningful. It has to be impactful. It has to have something that will draw people in and make people want to see. I don't know, like it's just kind of giving a backstory about what your collection is, because like we say, for example, with the marine ecosystem collection, for example, that could be anything. It could be growth, it could be life, it could be submersing yourself in things that you never ever thought you would be able to do, or things that you want to do but you're scared to, but you're just submersing yourself in it anyway, just to get that courage and just to be able to say that, hey, I was able to do that, or I did that, or those things. So it could be something like that. I don't know, like the way I like to think about the theme of things, I like to think outside of the box. I try to like wean away from the literal sense and the literal context of the theme. So like the marine and like the princesses, I didn't want it to really be, even though it's like a continuation of it, but like I took that concept of princesses, I made it the theme, but then I switched it into maturation versus just, oh, this is just this princessy, pink, vibey castles, and then with the tiaras and such like that. I just wanted it to be 3 Disney princesses growing up. And like I said, for the marine environment, the water environment, you could say, like I said, the submersion, or you could say something else. Whatever speaks to you in that moment, that's the topic of your tagline. And then you'll come up with something that will bring the people in. And sometimes this tagline creation could come before or after you make your title. It's all up to you. It's a whole thought process. And sometimes you have to step away from the mood board, and then for like a couple days, or like depending on how long you have to work on the project, you could just step away from it for a bit, just so you could think about everything that you want to include. Because I know I've had to do that. Or there will be things where like placement was wrong. Now we have like our tagline and like the like mission statement. It's also important for you to just mention somewhere, whether small or big, or just like off to the side, like in your notes or something, like what the season will be, what the season and year will be. So for my princesses one, it was fall winter of 2026, and it was business wear. For the aquamarine, it could be spring summer, and it could be couture wear, or it could be ready to wear, or something like that. Whatever you want your collection to be. Okay, that's what your whole mood board is, for you to get all your ideas on paper. The next part is the fun, like more fun part, is don't really have to be that organized. And this is the inspiration and the non-apparel items. Your inspiration items and your inspiration images, you can find these online, print them out. You can draw them. If you have a camera, you can take pictures of them, you can upload them, print those out, so on and so forth. And what your inspiration does, it kind of finalizes the whole idea and just brings everything together and just creates a visual. Because like words can create a visual depending on how you structure them. Also, like with the colors on there and the fabric on there, the swatches, you can create a visual as well that way. But it doesn't get any more visual than an image. So having an image to refer to, but here's what I took inspiration from. Here's what inspired me. Here's what this is like, allows the theme to speak. It gives the theme kind of like words. A picture says 1,000 words. You could just look at the images and be like, okay, this is what this is trying to communicate. This is what the collection will be communicating. Now with our non-apparel items, what we'll do is just take some things that are not related to clothing at all, the fashion industry at all, and add that to it. So this could be architecture, art, bedding maybe, vehicles, appliances, nature, whatever, just random things that you find. Whatever. So I hope today y'all learned something a little bit about mood boards and their importance and what things to include and why you should include it. It really requires a lot of thought when you create mood boards. It's not just putting things all onto a board and just calling it a day. You're really communicating your ideas to help your collection make sense at the end of the day. So guess what time it is? It is quiz time. Question 1. What is the definition of mood board? It's a simple definition. If you say a visual that communicates the idea of a collection, you are correct. Number 2. What are a few elements that are included on mood boards? If you said non-apparel items, fabric swatches, and colorways, you are correct. What is the name of the phrase that sums up what the collection will be about? If you say a tagline, you're correct. And this will kind of be like a bonus question. So what is the group of people in which a collection or a brand is specified for? If you said a target market, oh my god. Like I didn't even have to say y'all that. Like y'all just know. Like y'all said target market. Good job, guys. Okay, so that is the end of our lesson video. It's not the end of 40 Days of Fashion. We still have 8 more days to go. Okay. And we're gonna knock those out. Like I said, I appreciate everyone who has joined the Billy Clan. I hope that we continue to grow and we continue to learn together. And I'll just take y'all along my fashion design journey and just my life journey in general. Like I was just thinking yesterday, I was like, I have to come up with like some type of reward for finishing this series. That's crazy how I didn't even like think about that. I was just trying to get the series done. But that's enough rambling for today. Okay. I'm gonna talk to y'all tomorrow for day 33.